Welcome back, grade 12s. Yes, we are dealing with the balance sheet. We are dealing with distinctive features in the format of the balance sheet of a company and the notes to the financial statements. Remember, you need to know both the format of the balance sheet as well as the notes to the balance sheet. Okay, so now, if we're looking at a balance sheet, remember this section under assets remain identical to that of a sole trader or a partnership. Why? Because there was no change. It is basically note number 3, right? The tangible asset note. On this particular note, what is important for you to remember? You need to ascertain when dealing with note number 3. Are they giving me opening balances? Am I given closing balances? I need to know the format of the note. I need to bring in the movements, meaning my additions at cost. I need to bring in my disposals at carrying value. So that entire note number 3 is something that you need to involve yourself in. Note number 3. Get into note number 3. Make sure you can work note number 3 from the top to the bottom and from the bottom to the top. Please, guys, make sure you know exactly how to handle note number 3. Okay? That obviously we're saying did not change, nothing new. Let's look at our equity and liabilities now. Here we have ordinary share capital, note number 7. We also have the share premium, note number 8. And then we have our retained income, note number 9. Okay. Then we also have our non-current liability, again, greater than 12 months. Important consideration. Under trade, under current liabilities, we have trade and other payables, namely creditors with a note. A bank overdraft, I've alluded to this earlier on, and your short-term loans, namely your loans payable within 12 months. You will see as we go along how we explain each of these items in detail. Remember, this is not a full balance sheet. We're only illustrating to you distinctive features of a company balance sheet. So you have to pay special attention to the equity and the reserve section because this is new to you. You haven't dealt with this before, so you now need to know how to be able to handle it. Okay, so now once again, let's recap on what we said. If we look at this here, what are new things that we're going to be dealing with? We're going to be dealing with ordinary share capital, which is the equity of a company. Remember, we've discussed this at length. Within this, it's a special note, note number 7, that will deal primarily with the ordinary share capital. And just to give you a hint, what are we talking about here? We're talking about the authorized and the issued. Remember from previous lessons? I'm sure you do. Remember your share premium? What are we dealing with here? We are dealing with those shares that were sold at a premium for more than the par value. That is also something that we need to take into consideration. And then the retained income. Very important. Where does it come from? Remember, if we have to talk about retained income, we're talking about note number 9. Right? And in this note, we're going to be discussing exactly what is it that we want to appear in note number 9. Under non-current liabilities, it is your loans, right? Namely, mortgage bonds or any other loans that you may have. And the repayment period needs to be greater than 12 months. And this is where you need to separate your non-current liability from your current liability. Coming into current liabilities, what is important for us to take note of is that we have our trade and other payables. Again, note number 10, nothing new to you, but with a few new items that we will be discussing later in today's program. Then the bank overdraft. Remember we spoke about it? And let me finally state for you once again, you have to know the status of your bank account, whether bank is favorable or unfavorable. And if it is unfavorable, if it is in overdraft, it's going to appear under my current liabilities on the face of the balance sheet. And then finally, the short-term loans, those that have a repayment period of less than 12 months, need to appear under current liabilities, this one here. Okay, so we've just looked at some of the distinctive features, but if you want to know more, you have to stay with us, so don't go away.